Hey guys, excuse the croaky throat, but and I know it's been a while, but I'm back. It's just been a bit busy the last couple of months or so. But what I thought I'd do, I'm going to do one of two videos. I'm going to do a stash update. Admittedly, I'm not going to get everything in the video because obviously I've been buying a bit and I've come into some, well, money. So obviously I've been having a little bit of a spend, which you can't blame me at my age anyway. And I also reached the princely sum of 60 on the 3rd of April. Along with my partner, 3 days later, Jackie, she was also 60. So yeah, we both reached a milestone. And as part of my 60th, Jackie actually treated me to a trip to the Mercedes Centre near Brooklands Museum, and I experienced the power of an AMG Mercedes. Wow. I'm not even kidding you. It was just something to behold. And the guy who was actually the test driver for the AMG Mercedes team um, was telling us that the speeds we were experiencing at race mode, I mean, because this thing was just turning in corners like it was on rails. I'm not kidding you. At race speed, and that he was saying, so this is around about half the speed of the Formula One cars drive at. So full respect to them. Yeah, it was awesome, absolutely ruddy awesome, and it's an experience I shall never forget. I'll tell you that much. But there you go. Anyway, I have got it on film. At some point, I will see if I can load it up onto the channel and you can see for yourself, guys. So, because they managed to actually shoot some onboard footage as well, showing my reactions with Jackie sitting in the back. So there you go. Anyway, thank you to the test driver, Richard. Fantastic experience, my friend, and it certainly made my birthday. So there you go. Anyway, as I said, it's been a while. I've got somewhat of a stash, which I'm going to run through, and then I'm going to do this in two parts. I've got the general stash update, and then I'm going to do an unboxing video. Very familiar, to the same vein as Jamie Hargo did when he was recently over in the UK. And like him, I've had man flu, hence the voice, and I've still got it hanging around me. So that's part of the reason why I haven't done a video for a while, because unfortunately I've been a bit poorly. So you'll have to bear with us on that, guys. Anyway, without further ado, what I'm going to do is just run through what I've actually got through the last few days. Well, last week or so. So here we go. And first off the bat is one of the aircraft I actually toured when I was at Brooklands Museum the other week. A BAC 111, the little pocket rocket. And this is going to be part of my British Airways BA Heritage builds, which I mentioned in my last video. So yeah, and I've managed to get the 500, which I've got two on the way for, which is the slightly more stretched version. So yeah, we should see what that's like. Anyway, that's that one down out of the way. Next one up, again as part of the British Airways Heritage builds I'm going to be producing at some point. This is a military bird, admittedly from Academy, but obviously I'm going to convert it into a BEA DAC. This is the old Skytrain. So I won't be using the decals on this in 1/44. I've had a look at it. It's not a bad little kit. It's quite nice and crisp. Although I've heard the decals are a bit of a nightmare, but I've got UMP decal setter, so that should get around that issue. But as I say, I'm not going to do it as is depicted on the box. This is going to be a BEA aircraft, because I know they actually did them in the early years of the airline. So there you go, that's that one. Changing the subject slightly, we've gone back into Cold War birds. As you will know, I've got the F111 E Aardvark, and I've obviously got its stablemate as well, which is the F111A Raven. Now, I've had this in my stash before, but I ended up having to sell it off. But thankfully I'm not going to have to sell it off this time, because all my kits, Jackie's kindly going to get into storage for me so that I will never have to sell them. So at some point in the future I will be birding this, get your teeth back in, building this beautiful bird of the Cold War era. This was the countermeasures version called the Raven. So that was used on the well-known Libya raids of Libya during the, I think it was the early 90s or the mid-80s. I think it was 86. Yeah, so there you go. Big beast of an aircraft, I must admit. And then obviously this is a recent new release by Italeri for this year, I think. I did have the 1/48th kit of this, and I was intentionally going to build it, but obviously for certain circumstances a few months ago I had to sell it, which is a bit of a regret. But when I saw this, I saw it in 1/72nd, I thought I got to have one back in. This is the HH53 Super Jolly Green Giant, and as you can see, you got the Vietnam markings on it, and on the side of the box you've got this one which was based at Finningley. And then obviously this one took part in the Mildon Air Display one year, and then you've got two other versions. So I might plump for that one, but my eye is plumping for that one. So yeah, we shall see. Right, getting back to civil stuff again. Excuse me. I've had this in before, but I ended up having to sell them for certain circumstances. But I've got it again. It's this Zvezda Boeing 757-200. I've got two of them in, because these are going to be part of my BA Heritage builds. I may possibly get two more, because obviously you had the World Airways scheme, and then obviously a Chatham scheme. So I've got not only one, but two of them in. And it is a beautiful looking kit. You can either have it with the winglets or without. So yeah, and I know Icelandair are, I think, due to retire these soon. They have had a stay of execution for a few months, because obviously there's been a delay on the 777-9 with its ongoing issues. So I think Icelandair have got that in the offing to be ordered. So we shall see. And this is another kit I've had before, but I had to sell it on. And this is the Revell 172nd. Oh, sorry, that was my tablet going off. 172nd B-17F Memphis Belle. Now, I'm not actually going to do it in the markings of Memphis Belle, because I managed to get some aftermarket decals for an aircraft which flew with the bloody 100s at Thorpe Abbots. So, yeah, I thought it'd make a nice change and a tribute to those guys, because I've actually watched the DVD of Masters of the Air, and if you haven't seen it, guys, do. It's quite an eye-opener, I can tell you. Anyway, going back to civil again. I've had this one in before, but I got this one off Vinted for around about £25, believe it or not, when they're normally going for about 39 or 40. It's a little, the box is a bit dirty where it's had stickers on it, and it looks as though it's been up in someone's loft. But I got this off Vinted, as I say, for £25, and it's the 747-8. I might get the Zvezda one, because obviously I've got the retro scheme Lufthansa, and as you know, this year Lufthansa is celebrating its 100th centenary of operations, and one of the action aircraft that was depicted in that new sort of scheme is the Dash 8 Jumbo. So I might save it for that. I don't know, we shall see. But I'm going to try and get another Dash 8 in at some point, and do it in the old retro scheme. And again, another one I had in before, but I had to sell it on, but I've got it back again, is Revell's Airbus 330-300. I'm surprised nobody's brought out the Dash 9 actually, but maybe in time they will, who knows. And I know the 350 Revell have reboxed into the Turkish Airlines version, but that's another one that I'm yet to get in this Dash. But I'm going to depict this as is on the box, because obviously it's part of Lufthansa's anniversary, really. But I did get a second one on Vinted. That one. It's got the LTU scheme. I might not use it for that. I might see if I can get the Virgin scheme for that one. So that's two I've got in my stash there, the 330. And this one again, I've had him before, and regretfully I had to sell it on, but I got it back again, and I got this one off a buyer for about 25 as well on Vinted. An Airbus British, it's a BAE A380-800, so that is obviously the flagship of the fleet now that the Queen of the Skies has been retired. I still say they were too hasty to get rid of them, to be honest with you, but it is what it is. But what an impressive bird. I always watch these on Big Jet TV as well, and when they fly over here, they're just such an impressive looking aircraft. Anyway, something completely different, and this is the first of Airfix's new range that's been issued this year, and it only actually came out in circulation. It's a reissue of an old kit that was very much sought after by a lot of people and Airfix fanboys, and in a way it was for me, because I've always wanted one of these in my stash, and I'm glad they announced they were reissuing it. I think it only just came on general release a couple of weeks ago, and it is of course Airfix Vintage Classics BHC SRM4 hovercraft, the Mountbatten version. And admittedly there is a lot of flash on the sprues, but guys, no good complaining. It is an old kit, an old tooling, so you're going to get that, but it just means you just got to do a bit of extra work. But I do like the look of it. It's a build I'm looking forward to doing at some point, and I might do it as a sea diorama, and obviously some of it is opened up on the side, but the markings I'm going to do it, because you've got the option of two, is the second one. I'm not doing it in the hover speed, I'm doing it in the second one. So I think that was the scheme it was last in as well. I think from what I read there was only 4 ever built, which surprises me, because I thought there was more than that. And there's still one I think preserved at the Hovercraft Museum at Fareham. I think there might be one somewhere else, I'm not sure, but they're very rare now. I think maybe some of them got scrapped. But no, awesome beast. I'm just glad I got it in my stash, you know. Oh, just remembered something. Yeah, well, it don't matter. Airfix were doing a special bundle for £99. So I couldn't let this go, because these are 2 aircraft I've had in my stash before. Well, one I haven't, and the other one have. And there is a connection between them, because obviously these are 2 of the V bombers. The Valiant I haven't got, but Airfix were doing a deal for the 2 for £99, which is virtually half price. So I thought, you know what, go for it, because I don't think they're going to be issued again. And one of them is actually a reissue for this year's Airfix range as well. Well, they both are actually in effect. It is, of course, the well-known famous Avro Vulcan. So I've got that, the reboxing. And the Handley Page Victor K2 SR2. And I do have the Black Buck version as well, so I managed to get hold of that, of the Vulcan. So I'm going to use this as well as the Black Buck version to do a sort of a sky diorama, as though they're being refueled. So on the first Black Buck mission during the Falklands War. So yeah, I'm glad I got them in. I mean, the bomber version of the Victor now is just going for crazy money. So there's little likelihood I'm going to get that unless they reissue that again. But anyway, turning from aircraft now, we're going to go to armour. Okay. And the first one I got, which I actually saw on Amazon for a very good deal, is this one in 1/35. It's the Military Miniatures British M20 motorcycle with military police set. Now that is a good basis for any potential diorama. And there's one I've actually thought of in my head. So this could come in very handy for some project in the future. And we all love a Kubelwagen, I know. And this is a new company called Hero Hobby. And they've done two versions of the Kubelwagen. I've got the Type 82 Africa Core version. So I may well do an inbox review of one of these to see what these kits are like. And also I've got the one that was used in the European and Russian theatre as well. So yeah, they look great little kits. You've got the option of 3 colour schemes. I don't know what the kit is like in the box, but as I say, I shall do an inbox review of one of these at some stage. But anyway, one kit that has been reissued by Tamiya, which I'm pleased about because it has a connection with Rommel, is this. The SD KFZ 250/3 Grief, which was the personal mount of Rommel during the North African campaign. So I'm glad I got that. And I'm glad Tamiya reissued that one. I really am. And here's another one that hasn't been out in the market all that long, and it's made by Gecko Hobby. It was a truck that was used throughout all the theatres of the Second World War as a utility vehicle, not only in the RAF but in the army, but the RAF as well. And it is, of course, the 135th, a Bedford OYD truck, 2.5 ton 4x2 G5 metal cargo bodied vehicle. Now that's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? Knowing Gecko, this is going to be an awesome looking kit, and the detail with the edge brass is going to make it look superb. So yeah, at some stage I'm looking forward to building that, and again I might do an inbox review on that as well. Another one of 2 which are for a potential for a diorama is one I've had in before. Is the familiar old Tamiya 88mm Flak 36-37 gun with all the crew. But that's the only thing that could be going with on a potential diorama. Of course, this is one I had a moustache years ago, and I've wanted to get hold of it again. And now I'm in a position I have been able to. It's of course the Schwer Zuchtkraftwagen SDKFZ 9 FAMO, and this is the one with the detailed engine. So I'm thinking of putting that with the Flak 38 as though it's towing it somewhere in Russia. So that is the good basis for a diorama. So yeah, I'm glad I got that beast back in again. And the other one, and this is going to be possibly one of 2 vehicles featured in an idea I've got for a diorama. And of course, you've guessed it. It's a Tiger, but this is the Academy version of the, I think it's the mid-production. And it's got a familiar code of 131 on the side. I have got another Tiger in my stash, which is the Tacom version, but I think that's the early version. Yeah, I've got 2 Tigers to start with. And this is one of them. So yeah, that, and what I may well go with it, and this is the final kit I'm going to mention as a stash update, and this is one that's been in the circuit a while. I know Sebastian Schoof got it in and he loved it, and he did an inbox review of it. It's of course Thunder Models British Scammell Pioneer tank transporter. So I might use that with the Tiger on the back as though it's been captured, and then obviously have the motorcycle set so it's at a junction or something, waiting to go across. So that's the idea that's forming in my head anyway. So anyway, that's the end of part 1. Part 2 will be coming up shortly. I've just got to upload this video, and then I'll film that and then get it up to you guys, and that's the one where I'm going to actually unpack the boxes. So I'll speak to you then. So until then, get kit crazy, happy modelling, and I'll speak to you soon. Cheers.